Hey, beautiful beings, and welcome to another energy update for the collective, channeled for you by the seven most important angels. I've spoken before about a collective that is known as the Great White Brotherhood, and I would like to redefine, or better said, I was asked to redefine the term. Maybe you heard me say it before. It has nothing to do with ethnicity. It has all to do with light. They are also known under the seven archangels or the Logi, the Johans, known within many cultures and cosmologies. And they oversee the evolvement of life on planet Earth. And even angels, they asked me to redefine. Angels we know as beautiful winged beings, and they love that image because it portrays a very serene being with white wings. And actually, they are fields of consciousness that can show themselves in many ways, shapes, or forms. They are not bound by the limitations that we have on the physical plane. So please know that they are coming at you with a whole lot of love and a whole lot of wisdom to share with you. And they wanted me to start off with a very high note of positivity today because they wanted to let us know that they are very, very proud of humanity at this time. The evolvement that we are making right now is massive. People all around the world are standing up in protest for their rights, for their sovereignty, because they are seeing that governments are not always taking care of humanity in the best way. Now, I don't know if you have heard, but yesterday, or at least when I'm recording this yesterday, there was a No Kings protest in the United States, which was attended by 7 million people. 7 million people stood up against authoritarianism, and they stood up non-violently. That is what they absolutely love the most, and what they are most proud of is that humanity is showing governments, and in this case the American government and Trump, that they no longer comply with everything that he is doing. And that is amazing. Even in regions like Portland, which Trump describes as war zones, people are standing up in loving protest, showing through media that Trump is painting a whole different picture, and they are even taking a beautiful spin with this. And maybe you've seen this. I like it. They have been protesting in animal suits, dancing around, making the statement that reality is not always how it is being painted in the media. And that is also something that was pointed out to me by Michael this week. Look at the newspapers, how the protests for Gaza are being painted as linked to Hamas. Now, even this protest, the standing up for sovereignty, for human rights against Trump, is being painted as terrorism. Terrorism. Now I ask you to let that sink in for a moment. How normal media is painting a picture, how the US government is painting a picture of all those loving citizens that are saying no more. We do not want your way of behaving, of throwing people out of the country by violence or putting people into camps and then escorting them out of the country in inhumane situations. We do not condone that. We do not want that. And you are saying it's necessary. But we are seeing a whole other picture here. Now, that is something that the higher consciousness beings are very, very proud of. And with, with their excitement, I'm even feeling my body go into that higher state. I have to wind down for a moment. There's so much enthusiasm. And I find it really, really beautiful because reclaiming our sovereignty is what this is all about. We are in the midst, they say, in the midst of a grand awakening. And this rising in consciousness is what is leading up to people standing up for their rights. We no longer wish for governments to treat us this way. And I don't know if you ever realized, if you ever thought about the terms the government and the people, or monarchies and the people. There's already a very big distinction there. And they are saying we are working towards a world where we are equal. Now, if there are loving leaders that can guide us to equality and to love, to benefit humankind, then we can have leadership. But the way that it has been done over many centuries is not the way that they want to see this. No longer. No longer. And they've told me it is going to go hand in hand, this awareness, with opening up about many things that were unseen for the collective. Now, many people have been channeling and have been putting a lot of knowledge out there, which has been described by many people as conspiracy theories. But almost everything that these people have been saying came true. Do your research on this. There's so much that is out in the open. And I have to say that also my eyes have been opened in the past 2 years. They have been guiding me on a journey, not only in my country, but also in other countries, and showing me history and showing me the influence, the massive influence of governments and of monarchies on the people. And that the structure that we know right now with money and with power has been put down for the purpose of control and manipulation. And with this, he gave me a warning. Or, as I explained before, Michael is not just he embodies both masculine and feminine, but Michael gave me a pretty clear warning. The governments are going to try to stay in control. Now, there's a lot happening all over the world, and we could say that we are at war. Now, it is not a word that I like, but they asked me to use it in this session, in this transmission, to awaken people to the fact that they are going to try and manipulate us back into the control systems. And right now we are going through such a massive awakening that this is a very, very important moment in time. They pointed out to me that And this was interesting. They gave me a word that I never heard before, smart copter. And if you're thinking, what is that? Well, you are not alone. I was like, okay, smart copter, this sounds like a helicopter driven by AI, and that is it. Um, they wanted me to talk about the influence of AI because AI can be used in warfare. AI can be used for total control, for manipulation. And it was very interesting. I ordered a new phone and it was beautiful. And I also like beautiful things, and it could make the most amazing pictures. It had such a good lens, and then I held it in my hand, and there was something that was not sitting right with me. So then I sat myself down in front of my desk, and the little box that the phone came in was right in front of me, and it had very clear and in big letters AI. And then I asked, like, oh, but is this it? And then they said, yeah, this, even the frequency of AI being integrated within systems already transmits a frequency that will have an influence on your frequency. Now, if this sounds far-fetched to you, then I would like to remind you of times where you have maybe had a sound bath. Or maybe you could feel when someone was very loving towards you. You know, you felt right at home, you felt cozy, you felt good. Or you were in an area of the city where you just didn't feel safe. Now that is frequency. And AI also holds frequency. It depends on how it's being used. And they are going to try, our governments worldwide are going to try to pull one on us. So to tighten the grip to see if we will give up our sovereignty. Now we will need each and every one of us to say no more. Each and every one of us. You are very important in this playing out of what is going to happen. Now, if we look back in history and the role of our governments in going to war, then think about who were the ones fighting in wars. It has always been a top-down war where the governments were quite safe, and who were fighting their battles for them? The people. So by creating division, they had the people right where they wanted it, because people were fighting for their survival. And as long as you keep people, and it's very obvious, and I know you know this, as long as you keep people in a fear state, they will fight each other to survive. And also this time they are going to use AI. If we let them, we can prevent this. If we keep on turning up, like in the protests that were held by the flotilla, for example, people worldwide standing up for Gaza, for humanity, and now also within the United States. And it's also going to, it is already happening worldwide. And that is amazing. And we have to keep going. Now, I also saw a video that I liked very much. In England, they had citizens arrest. There was a man, he was part of the parliament, and he was in charge of dumping illegally into the waters great amounts of toxic waste. And there was this beautiful group of women that encircled him on the streets, and they were dressed in red and in black, beautiful suits. The one being in charge, she had earrings, big hearts, and they said to him, "You are safe, but we are holding you under citizen's arrest. The police are on its way." And we do not want you to dump any more toxic waste. We believe that you're on your way to signing off another deal. We are here to stop you. Now, Trump is signing deals with mining companies that will endanger big, big regions of nature, of wildlife, of mountains, of, even the Amazon. That they had the gathering to talk about climate, and then they paved the way through the Amazon. It is things like this that they want to enrage us with. Now, they are saying rage is never the solution, even though your anger is justified. And there's a distinction there between speaking from just anger or rage and turning things for the worse. They are really asking us to stay centered and to stand together in love and from our biggest awareness, to not believe everything we read and to not react to everything we are reading, to be the wise ones, to show them how it's done, and to show them how we want our world to be guided. They also gave me the words New World Order, and I do not know how this lands with you, but with me, those words, they just tie to the World Economic Forum and they do not resonate with me at all. But they said to me, that is the way that the governments want to use the world order. But the New World Order on a higher level, a higher conscious level, is with the intention of equality. Equality for everyone, housing for everyone, food for everyone. It is your birthright to have that. Now, how many of us are struggling? Even in the Netherlands, we are very wealthy country, and even here people are struggling. And it's not only about us, it's about people worldwide struggling for food, keeping us in a fear state. And it is time that that ends. And you play such a perfect role, I wanted to say. Yeah, you are playing a perfect role in that. Every time you choose humanity, and every time you choose your sovereignty, and every time you choose planet Earth, the people around you need you. The people that are sharing this beautiful planet with you, they need you to raise your voice. Now that is massive awakening. And they also asked me to lift the veil just a little bit. And if you saw me swallow just there, it is because I do not like to open people up to darkness. I'm not going to go too far into it, so if you're sensitive, you're going to be okay. But we are on this earth connected to other dimensions. We are connected to the ethereal realm that is very beautifully guided by these beings, guiding us with consciousness, letting more light into the grid of Gaia, raising awareness, protecting us, making sure that we keep going and that we are even able to connect to love. Now there's another dimension, which is the astral dimension, and that is the dimension that benefits from negativity. That is the only thing I am going to say right now about that dimension. I feel very uncomfortable talking about it. I know a lot about it. The people that surround me from up and close know that I'm very aware of what houses there. and that I'm also not afraid. So in case you're ever afraid, feel free to reach out if there's something with entities, and I'm going to leave it at that. But they are saying that it is really time also to work on energetic protection. So I'm going to see if there will be inspiration coming up this week so that I can transmit guidance and knowledge about energetic protection, because there is very little awareness in protection. And please don't get me wrong when I say this, they have shown me that it's even so within the spiritual community. A lot of healers that are not aware of what is coming into the field while they are trying to serve humanity with healing. It doesn't matter if you're working with energetic healing or with plant medicine. It is very important that there is going to be more awareness, and there are going to be people that are listening to it that will feel this as ego. It is just their suggestion, and also my suggestion, because I've seen and noticed a lot to keep on working in developing your awareness of protection. Okay, so I'm going to put out another video on protection, and if you ever feel that you could use some guidance on that, then contact me. I will be happy to help, and I will not even charge you for it. It is one of my purposes. Here in the house they call me Ghostbuster. And I find that very amusing. So I can help you out with that, okay? That is my offer. That is out there on the table. Now, then, something really hopeful, and I've talked about this before, the alignment with 3i Atlas that is happening right now and also in the upcoming days, which is going to transmit more light into the energy. And Michael has shown me that this consciousness is going to take a very, very big part in what is going to be transmitted. And I think I also already spoke to you about this, that the consciousness, its consciousness is connected to the sun, so to the light, the rays of the rainbow we also see when we hold up a prism. That is going to flow into the field and into the grid of Gaia. He showed me an image of beautiful white light coming into the grid and really flowing like rivers all through the surface and into the core of Gaia, lighting it up. And I find that such a massive and beautiful explanation, so very hopeful. And there was said to me, like, it is hopeful, you know. They gave me the words Pralaya Pralay, and this is a term within Hindu cosmology, and I'm not an expert on this, but I could feel and could see their message with it. And they have been talking to me about a cleansing, a redirecting, flattening the surface for the new world that we are going to build together. So you, your neighbor, each and every one of us. But first we have to dissolve. We have to dissolve how things have been. And again, we have been under such a dark, I just said it for a moment, construction of manipulation, that it is time for us to raise ourselves above this. And this also means, with all the energetic influxes, that Gaia herself is moving. So that is going to go hand in hand again with volcanic activity and also with the plate shifting, I said it before, and also tsunamis. It cannot happen otherwise. She is expanding, and every time a new civilization, or let's say when civilizations crumbled because there was too much darkness there, to make space for the light to come in, things had to crumble. So our eyes are being opened, and also our eye is being opened for us to see. It is not to scare us, it is for us to see everything that is there out in the open. They showed me the image also of, talking about governments, about the surface uh, opening up and seeing everything that is there. So the big purge we are in, it is, I'm sorry, it's so uncomfortable. And we're going to have moments like that will make us feel nauseous and makes us want to look away, but they are saying it is here to be seen, so that we are aware and that we will choose new ways of being. And please know that this is making way for the light to come in. Very important. Very important to keep that in mind. When you are feeling like everything is going haywire, know that you are being supported by higher consciousness. Know that your support to others is really, really highly appreciated. We are going to have to do this together. Even even they need your support, because if you do not open up to their teachings or to what they are saying and just keep on continuing, then we can go into a whole different timeline. But they already showed me that we are so well on our way. We are so well on our way. They are so proud of us. They are so proud of us. Really. And their protection is there. So you can already call on Archangel Michael. Like, this is in short, very short, something you can do when you want guidance and support. Then it's there. It is guiding you and protecting you. You're being held. And at this moment, so much beauty is coming into our orbits. So they are asking you to be hopeful, and to be wise, and to do this together, and to use your discernment and your energetical protection. Now, this was a whole lot, I know. I'm going to check my list if there was anything that I missed. Am I going to talk about that? Let me feel. I'm going to take. They wanted me to talk about the 3. I've been talking about the 7, and they are asking me to talk about the 3. But since it is connected to energetical protection, I'm going to take that with me in the next video. I will upload it this week. If you're interested, then keep an eye out. Press subscribe. I find it very uncomfortable to remind people to subscribe or to leave a like so that we can reach more people. But if you're like, oh yeah, I really like this message and I totally forgot about that, then you can really help us with creating new messages and reaching more people. So everything being said, I hope you will take it in, integrate it, and if I can do anything for you, reach out. There's a lot of hope, a lot of love, and a lot of beauty. See you the next time. Ciao, ciao.